You ever notice how the people who are constantly bitch never seem to catch a break, but the people who capture gratitude capture win after win after win? This isn't a mistake. No, this is by design. The first piece in your foundation of getting, staying, and being wealthy of the heart and mind, is gratitude. This is not corny. It is as real as it gets. And this is coming from firsthand experience. There have been times in my life, even me, right? I seem like a positive guy. I seem like in the now, all these things. There have been times in my life, to keep it 1,000% real with you, where I have gotten off track. I have thought, why me instead of try me? And every time I start to act like this, it spirals in the negative. But when I wake up and build a solid foundation based off being thankful for where I am at today, every single moment when I wake up, every single moment when I breathe, for the littlest things, for being healthy, for having energy, for having the opportunity to proceed in the day, then that stacks. That compounds into the positive. This is truly the foundation. And there's a whole crowd of people out there that are gonna say like, oh, it's easy to do that when you're rich, or oh, it's easy, whatever. The truth is, if you're like that regardless, great things will happen to you. It is inevitable. This is the truth. Believe that like you believe I'm wearing a cowboy hat. You think I'm wearing a cowboy hat? Yes, I'm wearing a cowboy hat. Believe it to that same level. And let me broaden the scope here for you, because I want more for you than just financial wealth. The story of Thomas H. Lee. You might not be familiar. Multi-billionaire, one of the pioneers of private equity. His fund still lives today, Thomas H. Lee Partners. I think he was worth 3 or 4 billion. 2 years ago, he jumped out of the window of his New York office. Suicide. As rich as humanly possible, and yet none of that matters. Why? Wasn't grateful for where he was at. Can you still get rich without gratitude? Perhaps. It's gonna be harder, and it's gonna be a brutal path. But I can guarantee you won't be happy when you get there. I still remember the early days of building the Genius brand. Gratitude radiated through me. I was grateful for the ability to hire my friends. I was grateful for the opportunity to build something I liked every day. Even when things went bad, even when things went rough, even when I had tough moments, I was still appreciative of the reality that I existed in, which was getting to build a company. And I'm telling you, I had hard times. I had $10 million in revenue, half of my business at the time, wiped out overnight. Did that panic me? Did it hurt? Yes. I came back to the foundation that was gratitude. I came back to the reality that I was getting to work through this with people I cared about. I came back to the reality I still had the chance and opportunity to build something special. Glass half full, always. The second foundational piece is mastering the art of not giving a fuck about what anyone thinks about you. Now, this might feel like one of those ones that's like easier said than done, but the reality is so many of us are deeply plagued by this. If it's not our parents, it's our mentor or our role model or our friend group. We are often put in these boxes where we start living our lives based on other people's expectations for us. And the end result is the lack of living a life you actually care about. I want to put this in context for you. I respect the fuck out of people who create something new and go somewhere totally else, because there's risk. There's reputational risk. Jake Paul is the best example of this. He just bought a global jet, right? Everyone knows Jake Paul's popping shit right now. A couple years ago, when he made that pivot to boxing, he was mocked. He was trolled. Nate Robinson, please knock out Jake Paul, right? That's real. This is already a public figure, again, having to reject anyone else's expectations for him and operate from a ground up place where he sees a bright future with a lot of fucking money. And you have to take that risk. You have to go against the grain. You have to go against other people's thoughts, and you truly have to not give a fuck. The end result? Balling. Now, quick caveat for you here. This is where it's important to think ground up. Operate from ground up principles. Don't operate, most people go out to society and they base their thoughts on what is common knowledge. And common knowledge is just the collective thoughts of other people, often not grounded in reality. So there's incredible room for disruption. If Jake goes to the drawing board and he says, I'm entertaining, I know how to monetize, I have a following, where can I get paid? Oh, wow, boxing makes this per event. Can I sell out a show? If the answer is yes, he sees the path to money despite the risk of potential embarrassment. That is how the game and how the world works, and quite frankly, it's liberating. Every time you commit yourself to something new, every time you commit yourself to evolution, there is growth. Pain is progress. Fear is progress. Overcoming that is progress. That is on you to living a life fulfilled. And I'm absolutely spitting right now. This is 32 years distilled in concrete, direct knowledge for you to level the fuck up. I want you to be the person you're supposed to be. The third and final foundational piece here is definitely gonna shock you. But I want you to know that if you grinded your face off in 2018 on Fortnite, or if you were a Call of Duty player before that, I'm talking the type of person who locked himself in a room and could play that game all day. Notice I said him, not her, because I don't know too many girls playing those games. Respect though, lads. But if you were one of those people, you have it in you to become a billionaire. Why? The third foundational piece is something deeply, deeply important to me, which is obsession. Humans are wired for obsession. When we find our North Star, when we find fulfillment, we become obsessed. We chase that bitch 1,000,000 miles per hour. Now, if you could just rewire your brain for it to not be Fortnite and instead have it be something productive that enables growth and prosperity, then you are well on your way. Those three pieces brought together. You look at all of the greats. Obsession is often demonized, but then respected. The greatest, they were always crazy about their craft. Sometimes too crazy, right? You need to stay grounded. That's why those other two pieces are important. Kanye West is obsession without the gratitude. It happens. But you look at someone like Elon, obsessed with changing the world. Steve Jobs, obsessed on a smaller scale. McGregor, obsessed. Kobe Bryant, obsessed. Michael Jordan, obsessed. Tom Brady, obsessed. On smaller scales, that young kid from your school who went on to start his own company and actually be successful, guess what he was? Motherfucking obsessed. Now notice this obsession component is third. You have to master number 2 first, because when you become obsessed, people become extra judgmental. My own dad said I was fucking crazy. I would have stopped my business. I would have stopped pursuing my passion if I cared what my family thought. Thank God I didn't. The sooner you realize that it is just you, and you, owning your own decisions, blazing your own path, living your own life, not setting yourself up with anyone else's expectations in mind, the happier you will be. And when you find obsession, you will know you are on the fast track to becoming exactly who you want to be. You get to choose who you want to be. You get to do this character design shit. All of it. So that brings me to the next piece of this equation. You're becoming a Renaissance man. You're living in this digital world. If we look at it from ground up physics, where we're at today, you have to make money, right? That's like the first piece of this. You want to enable freedom so you can go somewhere. You want to find that passion. You need your time back. It has never been easier to make money. Like actually, I love this internet shit. I love the content. I love brand building. Amazon was my thing. TikTok shop. This is the world I've lived in and moved into. Quite frankly, as I look at everyone out there who wants to learn a DM on IG, hit the link below, whatever. But as always, take this information, apply it. I don't want thanks. I want you to run it up your fucking self. That's what I always want. I want you to pass this information along to someone else. I want to spark change. I want to spark growth. Deeply grateful for you being here. I appreciate it. Let's keep this movement rolling.